A key difference between Guatemalan Americans and Guatemalans that live in Guatemala is that Guatemalan Americans will hardly ever use Guatemalan slang words whenever they're speaking Spanish. So for example, very typical Guatemalan slang words that are very often used are words such as poporopo, isto, pajilla, xolco, chute. But I've noticed that whenever Guatemalan Americans speak Spanish, they hardly ever use like very typical Guatemalan words. They'll often just choose typical Mexican words. And this is mostly because of the fact that the most common version of Spanish used here in the United States is Mexican Spanish. Other key difference is that Guatemalans that live in Guatemala are more aware of the different like subcultures that exist within the country of Guatemala. But Guatemalans that live in Guatemala are aware of the differences between, you know, like Guatemala City and like smaller towns, or how people in like the east side of Guatemala tend to be a lot more open and a lot more outgoing than people that live in the west and like more colder side of Guatemala. Yeah, there can be a lot of similarities between Guatemalan Americans and Guatemalans that live in Guatemala, but there are also a lot of differences.